want to do is just help Savannah feel a lot better in Kansas City. And I'm not afraid to go up there and dance and make an idiot out of myself.
Alrighty guys, what's going on? This is Eric here, and today we're back with our fourth Kid Nation interview. I am joined by the awesome Kennedy, who was on the green team and is a Gold Star winner and famously won the talent show with her amazing prop comedy and dance moves. So Kennedy, I'm really happy to have you on here.
Happy to be here. Thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's go ahead and just dive right into it. First question for you. How did you end up on the show?
I was pretty much a normal kid. Like, I didn't go to any casting calls or anything. But I was a national tennis player, and I had actually won a writing contest through the Duke Tip program.
Okay.
And so they found me on the Duke website, and they were looking for like a student athlete. They were just looking for certain types of kids, and it's kind of a funny story. They called me up on my home phone number, and I don't know how they got it. I guess White Pages or something. And like my mom answered, and they were like, "Hey, this is CBS calling for Kennedy. We want to interview her for a show." And my mom was like, "Yeah, right," and like hung up the phone. And then they called back and were like, "Hey, we're legit." And okay, and it was all, I never thought I would be on the show, and they were like, "Well, let's do like a phone interview." And my mom was like, "Okay." And so I talked to one of the producers, and then they were like, "Oh, we want to have you in Lexington, Kentucky, which is like 2 hours from me, for an in-person interview." I said, "Okay, whatever, no big deal." Went up there and interviewed, and I never thought I would get any further. I was like, I'm not an actress or anything. And then I was called back, and they said, "Hey, we want to fly you and a family member out to LA for final interviews." I was like, "Okay, I want to go to LA." Like, I'm a 12-year-old. I'm like, I want to go to LA for a week. Like, yeah, of course. So we went out there, and we hung out. Just really chill. Like, I just wasn't expecting to be on this show, so like I never had any pressure or anything throughout the process. And then and I interviewed with CBS and the executives, and it was a crazy experience. I loved it. But called me, and they were like, "We want you to be on the show." And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm committed. I'll do it." Like, it sounded like a great opportunity. The way they pitched it, I was like, "Oh, this sounds really cool." So yeah, I just was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go for it."
Dang, that's huge. I mean, you're actually the first person I've heard was like picked because of like athleticism. Like other people got picked because of like beauty pageants or spelling bees. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Andre. Yeah, but I think that the athleticism thing played in because some of the challenges obviously were kind of tough on the body, as well as some of the things that we had to do around the town were physically pretty tough. So they did pick some kids based on athleticism. That like I was one of those, I guess, but they were looking for like a hybrid with me, I guess. So a person who was a student athlete and like successful in both, I guess. So that was what they were looking for.
Okay, gotcha. So I mean, you're pretty athletic, and I mean a lot of the showdowns were pretty athletic in nature, of course. But there's a recurring theme with the green team where you guys did very bad in the showdowns.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
Yeah. It's really funny because, the green team kind of came out as like, I mean, no shade to the other teams, but everybody loves the green team. Everybody thinks they're like so powerhouse, right? Everybody thought the green team is the best. But first started, even though we were like such close friends and we had just such a good vibe, like we were just not doing well. I don't know what happened. It was really frustrating. We just were not like, if it was like the way that the showdowns were or like the way that I don't know, we communicated, but we definitely had a lot of like to do as a team. Even though we were such good friends, we really had to like build on our teamwork. And then but as you see progressively, like we definitely do a lot better toward the end.
Right.
So we progressed throughout. In fact, I think in the challenge, my episode, I'm pretty sure, the gum challenge. I think.
Yeah,
did we win that? I think we did.
That's the first one you guys won. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So it was like about that's like halfway through. So I think that like the second half we really started to get more wins. But we I think also, you know, you have to look at it as like character building within like classes were causing us to be laborers, which then helped us grow together because we were doing tasks that weren't fun and that we had to kind of like stronger together because we weren't in the best position. So that was actually probably one of the reasons as well that we ended up doing better.
Okay, definitely. So speaking of the green team, probably your most famous friendship on the show was with Savannah. Like, you guys had like a whole episode of the week about it. How did you and her even like sort of become friends? Because we don't really get to see that.
So, well, we're both the only two from Kentucky, so we definitely had that bond. And you know, she was on the green team with me, and we slept side by side every night, and we would talk. And she was a little bit younger than me, so I tried to, well, myself and Sophia and a few of the other old girls would try to, you know, kind of take her under our wing and just, you know, and she was really homesick, and I think that she related to me being from home, so I just would, you know, talk to her, and we would have some good like heart to hearts. So that was really sweet. But I, you know, not only was I really close to her, but I was really close to all the girls on the team. So we really just had a great bond. Like we would sit up at night and talk for hours, like off camera, even just, you know, laying there. So we all just got super, super close, which was awesome.
That's good. So like you mean like the green team girls? This would be like Morgan, Sophia, Savannah,
Laurel.
Laurel. Yeah, of course. Anyone else that you're particularly close with?
Well, those were the girls, and then I was close to some of the guys too, especially on our team. Like I was really close to Hunter. He was like my best friend.
Okay.
You don't really see that on the show actually, but
Yeah, I wouldn't have known.
well, we were both so quiet.
Yeah.
So we would hang out, but no one. I mean, it wasn't really something that people watched. I mean, I was friends with like pretty much everyone. I mean, there were people that I was like less close to, obviously, but I would say I got along with almost everyone. Actually, after the show, I gained a pretty good friendship with Jared.
Jared.
So he, you know, he's from like Georgia, so he would come to like we had some reunions after the show. I don't know if you'd heard about that. Like we would go to like Disney and you know, I was a tennis player and there's a lot of tennis tournaments in Georgia. So
Right.
Jared would come and watch me, especially in Atlanta. Like that's like the hotbed of like Southern tennis is Atlanta. We had met up a couple times in Atlanta for like tennis tournaments, and he would like come out to eat with us and stuff. He's a hoot. I have a funny
Yeah.
story. I was playing a match in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Was watching. And, I was beating this girl like pretty like it wasn't like this match at all.
Sure.
But for whatever reason, at the end of the match, I think he was just getting kind of like irritated that it was still going on. I think he really wanted to go eat.
Yeah.
And he comes up to the fence. He looks at the girl and he goes, "Like your corn beaten or creamed?" And that was good. And then there was, yeah, that was a good Jared moment. Another one was when Disney with him.
Uh-huh.
There were a ton of like reunions at Disney with different people. And I had like hurt my foot, really bad tendonitis, and I was in a wheelchair. Like I had ran a 5K and like really messed up my foot.
Okay.
and I found like it didn't come on until I got to Disney, and like I thought I like literally broke my foot while I was at Disney, but that was the whole thing. But anyway, so I was in a wheelchair at Disney, and was there with us, and he was pushing me around, and we were coming out of Space Mountain, and when you come out of Space Mountain at Disney World, there's like you have to go up like one of those like ramps that like move, you know, like and so he was pushing me, and he accidentally let go of the wheelchair.
Oh.
And I just go down the whole ramp.
Oh my gosh.
I thought I was gonna die. Yeah, so I love him though. He's I have not spoken to him in a long time, but something else. So all the Jared fans out there, you know, that's some more tidbits for you. He's great.
That's crazy. Yeah, I had no idea. You guys were pretty close though, because I'm pretty sure I saw a photo of you, Morgan, and Hunter at his bar mitzvah, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I wasn't at his bar mitzvah, but probably, I'm trying to think. We were down there at some point I think when we met up in Florida. So that was probably when it was. But yeah, I think that Sophia may have went to his bar mitzvah. Like, I think that people did maybe.
Okay.
But so I actually had a lot of meetups after the show, which was cool.
That's great. Yeah.
A bunch of us would get together. Yeah.
Dang. Any more recent like meetups that you've had with anybody?
So last summer, I met up with Anjay in Seattle. So I was working at the ACLU of Washington last summer for my internship, and Anjay works at Microsoft. So we met up and had drinks, and it was so cool. I had not seen Anjay since the show, and
Right.
because he was, across the country. So a lot of us on the East Coast would meet up, but I didn't, get a chance to meet up with anyone from over there. And oh, he's great. I mean, he is just a class act. I can't speak for the guy. He's and we had a great time and had a laugh. We were just all about the show and trying to figure out where everyone was. We were like on Facebook, like trying to find people. Posted a picture on Instagram and had like people from the show commenting like, "Oh my god," So it was cool. It was.
That's awesome. Yeah, Anjay definitely is a really stand-up guy. He's the first person we had on the show, so
Yeah. Awesome.
definitely. So next question is actually like a sort of like a fan question that we got from someone on the Discord. But basically, Savannah mentioned something about how North Kentucky is perceived, differently compared to Southeast Kentucky. She says they're very different despite being in the same state. Would you be able to give us any insight into like what that even means?
No, she's definitely right. So, we're both from Southeast Kentucky. Well, she's more Southeast than I am.
Okay.
Because I'm actually on the border of the tri-state of Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky. But I'm still in Eastern Kentucky, technically. And we are probably more like what you would think of as Kentucky, like more, Southern country type people, coal country. Whereas
Yeah.
Northern Kentucky actually is basically Cincinnati. So it's on the border there. So actually, well, I go to Cincinnati Law School, so like I am right across the river from Northern Kentucky, and yeah, it's more Ohio. So it's kind of a different culture. I mean, Kentucky's kind of split on different cultures. So like you also have like Louisville, which is kind of like Indiana,
Uh-huh.
because they're like Kentuckiana because they're on the border, but southeastern Kentucky is, in my opinion, I'm sure Savannah would say the same thing. Like what you would think of as like Kentucky, it's like of like farmland, a lot of like horses, just like good country people for sure.
Right, definitely. I get that. Okay. Yeah, thanks for that. Because I honestly would not even know what to expect. Just hearing that there's a difference. But yeah, that was pretty insightful. So next question has to do with the talent show that you entered. When you entered the talent show, was there ever any indication that like the winner of the talent show would receive the gold star, or was the talent show just supposed to be as a way of entertaining people?
From what I recollect, I don't think that they ever said like the winner of the talent show would be the gold star winner, and like something that the show didn't really say was like in that instance, there were a lot of, that's why I got the gold star like off camera, that weren't even related to the talent show. So a lot of people think like, oh, you just won the talent show, so you got the gold star, and that's not really the truth. I worked really hard off camera. I mean, like I told you, I was pretty athletic, so like I would carry like buckets of water. Like that was why I was such good friends with Hunter. We were like the people that would literally like buckets of water back and forth from the water tower, like to get people water. Like I worked really, really hard actually, and you just don't see that because I did it in silence. Which, yeah, I think that that's something that people. I had a lot of critics like on like when the show came out. They were like, "Oh, she didn't do anything, and she just like did a funny dance and like won." And I don't think that's really true. I think that it was more. I mean, obviously, like Savannah Stay being a good personality in the town that like kind of brought people together. Like I think those were all reasons.
Sure.
And I think that like even though the show kind of portrayed it as like the winner of the talent show was the winner of the gold star, that didn't really, I don't think that was necessarily how it was. But I just don't think that there was like, and I could see why like they wouldn't seem that way like in production. Like I don't think there was a reason for them to seem more all around because like the whole focus of the episode was the talent show, but it just kind of made it painted me in a light that wasn't really percent true, I guess. So
Right.
but that's okay. It is what it is.
Definitely. So, would you say that the sense of humor that you brought to the talent show, is that still the same sort of brand of humor that you use right now with the, the prop comedy and the dancing?
100%. I'm definitely like really silly. I mean, you can ask anyone. I'm just crazy. The person who like I will be doing like the robot or
Okay.
and crazy stuff all the time. I'm pretty like happy go lucky and silly. I don't really take much seriously. Yeah, I mean, I've always been pretty true to myself, and it's pretty crazy that like that ended up on national TV because that wasn't really something I thought of at the time. I was just like doing it to be like funny and like to make people happy. I didn't really or and people like criticize it or like, oh, she's not even funny, like she's being stupid. And I was like, okay, like whatever, like if it's not your thing, then that's cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna be true to myself, and people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't, and that's not really my problem either way.
Right. No, that's definitely a good attitude to have, especially with comedy. I mean, no one's really gonna like everything, not even close. Yeah. But so in your opinion, what do you think was like the best act that you guys got to see at the talent show?
Greg and Blaine were pretty funny. Pretty creative. I mean, Olivia's was pretty funny, like the roast she did. Did a monologue from Shakespeare. That was
crazy.
Pretty cool. Like, okay, like that's pretty talented. It's funny. People always like this whole thing too with me with the talent show because you can actually see me like on the show signing up for the talent show, and if you notice, I put violin. So I was originally supposed to play violin because I was actually school violinist when I was until I was about 14.
Sure.
And I had my violin there, so I was like planning on playing it, and then Savannah, the whole thing happened with her, and I was like, oh, I'll do a comedy routine instead. So yeah, and I've always actually
You've always
something
what?
that I've been doing. Like that's like something that I've been making up like little raps.
Okay.
From then, I mean, and it like progressed. So I actually entered pageant at my school for philanthropy. I'm not a pageant person. That's Taylor and Layla. But
sure.
I've never been in a pageant before or anything, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this like to raise money or whatever for philanthropy. And anyway, so I made up a rap, performed it, and it became iconic around my campus for a while. But that was like, it was like the talent show part 2, I guess. So
that's tight. That's impressive. Yeah, I actually forgot there was a rap bit in there.
It's like a small bit. Well, and also they cut it. Like it was longer and it got cut, so it kind of didn't make sense on TV. But I was like, yeah.
Oh, right, I'm trying to remember it. It's like, hi, my name is Kennedy.
In the melody, yeah.
Oh, I mean, did you remember the cut part?
It was like, so. Oh, and by the way, the whole thing with like I dance like a penguin.
Yeah.
Was, like, something that I would go around, like it was like an inside joke because I was like I would always do this like penguin dance. I don't know, I was a kid. I was stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was like, hi, my name is Kennedy. I'm bringing the melody. I dance like a penguin. I can't eat my fish one because it's like penguins eat fish.
Yeah.
I build this town, but without a frown. So watch this buffoon rock this saloon. That's how it went.
Hey, okay. Damn.
So it was better because they like cut out like a big part of it, so it didn't even rhyme. I was like, but yeah.
Dang.
But yeah, obviously my rap skills have improved as I've gotten older. I mean, I'm not like a serious rapper. It's more like a Weird Al kind of vibe. But
Okay. Yeah, no, that's still respectable. Little Dicky type rapper.
oh
I mean, if
yeah,
it
I
works,
wish.
it works.
Collab with me if he sees this. Hit me up. Like
Okay, I'll link it to him personally. Don't worry about it.
Freaky Friday Part 2.
That'd be that'd be epic. What did you end up doing with the $20,000 that you won?
I pretty much just like put it in the bank, and it just went to various expenses, like law school, those types of things. Like I didn't ever like spend it. Like I didn't ever buy like anything. Pretty much was just like for adult things, I guess.
Yeah.
I was lucky I didn't have to pay for anything for college because I got a tennis scholarship. So
Ooh, congrats.
yeah, it pretty much was more like for thanks. Yeah, so it was more for like law school and rent and adult things. Yeah, I'm pretty boring, I guess.
What was your favorite experience on the show?
Question. So I do know the answer to this. So something that I don't know if you've heard about this, but it wasn't shown on TV.
Okay.
In short, we actually climbed a mountain.
Really?
About this?
No, I've never heard about the mountain climbing.
So, we were in New Mexico, so it was small. It was a big hill, small mountain, but for kids, it was a mountain.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the show, there was, a good sized mountain that we've been looking at, and we thought it would be cool, because we had the Kid Nation flag.
Yeah.
And we were going to take it to the top and stake it in and, say this is like our place. So all of us pretty much joined hands because, some were more athletic than others and had to help and the damn mountain.
Damn.
And it was really epic. It was a really daunting task. It was not easy. We were kids. It was a lot. But it was really special. Like when we all got to the top, we all just kind of cheered and staked the flag in, and it was just a really special moment. It was like really beautiful. I'm on promo stuff. There is a like kind of like a outlines of us with the flag, and we're all kind of lined up, and it's like more like shadows, like you can't see faces, and I believe that's actually from that.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's taken from that, but it got cut, which I was, kind of sad about. But
that is unfortunate.
I'm not a TV producer, so yeah. But anyway, so that was probably my favorite moment because it was like a moment of unity. Everyone worked together, everyone helped, and I thought that was like what the show was really about. Grow like a group of kids, helping each other survive and thrive, and it's a really cool moment. It was just a really uniting time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it sounds dope, and I definitely do know what you mean with the intro, so that's nice. In contrast to the favorite moment, what would you say was like your least favorite moment?
The beginning, because it was kind of like all just talk, and that like within the first few days we were literally just trying to like get our bearings, and there's like this famous line from Laura, like we're dirty, we're dusty, we're cold, and like that was how everyone felt. And it just didn't it was really hard. We'd all come from the comforts of station, and we didn't know what we were doing. We were just confused. Obviously a lot of us were homesick. We were trying to just remember trying to like take it moment by moment, and just trying to like be strong because obviously didn't want to leave, or I didn't want to find myself growing too homesick. So I just was take it moment by moment, but I was like thinking of just basic things like gonna eat, like how am I gonna get water, am I gonna shower, like and also that led into challenge because that was for my team. So it was like just a hard time for us, I think, because I'm struggling already, and then it was like kind of more of a blow, not just for the loss, but like the challenge itself was really hard, and then also just consequences of the challenge. You know, a lot of us have been put in that position. You know, it was just a lot.
Right, definitely. I mean, it was tough for a lot of people for sure. I'd have to imagine. So speaking of bad moments, I just have to imagine this is a bad moment. Before you guys got like the actual, hand washing machines, what was like the laundry service like in Bonanza City?
We had they called us pioneers, so all of our technology was 1800s style,
Sure.
like pioneers. So we had old school washboards. We had like lye soap, I think, and
Yeah.
we would just scrub it on the washboard. So, yeah, laundry was not something that I loved doing, because I found that my clothes didn't really come out clean. So I pretty much just them dirty. A
Yeah.
lot of people did because it was like it didn't really help. That was bad. Another really bad moment, now that we're talking about creature comforts, is that we didn't get toothbrushes until 2 weeks in.
Right.
That was pretty gross.
That's whack.
That was intense, actually. The fact that we hadn't brushed our teeth for 2 weeks, but we came up with like new ideas. So Sophia knew that you could use soda and your finger.
Oh, baking
Do
soda
that.
on your finger.
That's
Gotcha.
something that you can do, I guess, in lieu. I mean, it doesn't really for like crust, but you know, it's something, I
It's
guess.
it's better than nothing. I mean, that's just crazy. Yeah.
Bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Dang. So, because you guys were laborers a lot, you would be the ones washing the laundry most of the time, right?
Yeah, we did laundry. We had to do we carried the water, did like the outhouses, just pretty much all of the crap work.
Outside of the green team, what was your favorite like team and your least favorite team?
Team. Because each team had their own kind of vibe. Like the yellow team was just like a lot of young people. Like they
Uh
were
huh.
just very young, like young kids. And I had like really good friends in each. Um, put the blue team last because I think they were like arguably like our biggest competition. So you know,
Sure.
for competition. No shade to them. I had friends there, but I think
Yeah.
just like because they had like Greg and Blaine, and you know they were like Anjay and like Alex, like they had like the brains and the brawn. So
Right. 100%.
definitely a competition. But I think I would yellow and red. It's kind of a toss up. I guess maybe yellow just because they were like a lot of younger kids. So I think that like I've had a little bit of like hope for them, you know. And also I
Yeah.
love Zach, so like
Yeah.
he's like
Definitely.
just my boy. I love him. So yeah,
Okay. That's great. Yeah.
big Zach fan, aren't you?
What?
You're a big Zach fan, right?
Yeah, I am a big Zach fan. That is no
Right.
joke. Yeah,
Zach's awesome.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I heard from Laurel that shit he actually was well, like the younger kid who did hang out with the older kids and everything. So it makes sense how you'd be like close with him and everything.
Yeah, he's great. He's smart and funny. And, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What was it like getting to call your parents, and was it as genuine as we saw on the show?
That was like, I mean, it was 100% real. The emotions were very high. A lot, you know, it's very overwhelming. Like, just talk to them and then trying to like throw it all into like one conversation, and also like get to be, you know, get to say everything you want to say, and also like enjoy it. It's so overwhelming, and you know, whenever you're 12, like, you know, a lot. I I talk to my parents like every day now. You
Yeah,
know, it's like um but yeah, it was all genuine. It was a very emotional experience. Obviously, like, you know, it's like you're trying to balance like trying to tell them all the stuff you've done, like because you
sure.
want to tell them everything, but
Yeah,
also like enjoying the moment. So kind of hard. I It was a lot for sure. Like, and then ending the call is also like the worst thing. it's like so fun that you like it's cool that you get to do it, but
Uh-huh.
then when it's over, it's like so it's definitely like a bittersweet thing.
Right.
Like obviously like my parents like tell me how proud they were of me and everything was like a really emotional thing for me because that was just like what everything I wanted to hear. But it was intense for sure.
Right. So, another question on the call: were you given like a time limit at all, or could you literally like call for like an hour or something with your parents?
I remember if we had like a set time limit. I mean, we were on the phone for a while, at least an hour, but I don't know if we had like if they. I don't remember if they cut it off or anything.
Okay.
I mean, it obviously wasn't like or anything. I mean, we had like pretty adequate amount of time
Okay, that's
for
good.
enough.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely just seemed like a minute on the show, but it obviously wasn't just one
I
minute.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely not. Like you, I mean, there's a lot more time. Like,
Gotcha. So speaking of like home and your parents and everything, did you at any point want to leave?
um, I obviously missed home. I I really was like adamant about finishing and seeing what happened. And I mean, obviously at the beginning it was hard, but like as I got through it, became more and more independent and self-reliant. And I think that honestly, like I think that there was like for me, like because I won the gold star in the middle, like
Yeah.
literally like smack dab in the middle of the show. So like to my parents, that like obviously made me want to go home more. But I think that like I never had the feeling of like I want to go home because I never like contemplated leaving. It wasn't ever at the point where I felt like I needed to, and I really wanted to see it through. I really wanted to like finish the experience. I thought that it was like a once in a lifetime thing, and I would never get it back. So I knew that I would regret it if I did.
100%. That is definitely a good attitude to have. So, in the second election, actually, when they're like, "Oh, does anyone want to oppose Laurel for running?" It zooms in on Michael, which makes sense because he runs, but the camera also zooms in on your face too, sort of indicating like we don't see you like make any moves to run, but I mean that zoom in sort of made people think that like maybe you're planning on running at some point, and then it was just never aired or something. Like, did you ever indicate or like plan on running at any point for council leader?
I think so. Really like it's hard to even remember how the process went. I don't think I did. I mean, I've always knew that it would be else. I mean, like I'm a leader, but I think that like wasn't equal as other people on my team. So I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. I never even noticed that that was a thing.
Yeah.
So I never really thought about that. I don't know. I Somebody voted for me or something. Like I don't know. Maybe Savannah like put my name down. I don't know. I This is as good as mine. And it's
Right.
been so long. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, looking back, I don't think I ever like thought that I would be like on the council or anything. So
Okay, gotcha. In this second election, do you remember if you voted for Laurel or Michael?
tell you. Hmm. Question. No.
Oh, you don't know?
I
Okay.
you can ask Tom Foreman. Maybe he has my ballots.
I might, yeah.
I love
Hope.
both of them. I don't know what my thoughts were at the time. It's just been so long. I love both of them. I think they're both. I'm glad they both ended up doing it. Both are great. So they both are very adequate leaders, and like one would be. I don't know who I voted for.
Okay, that's no problem. If I had to guess, just statistically, I'm pretty sure like Michael beat Laurel pretty badly in that election. Not there's any beef or anything, but like just the numbers. So maybe it was to Michael. I'm
Might
not
have
sure.
been Michael then. No, I mean, like behind the scenes, like we could have had a plan that we all were gonna vote for Michael. Like maybe like Laurel knew that. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if there was a good pitch, then probably Michael, because we probably had all like agreed on it prior.
Yeah.
That's just not the stuff they show. I feel like we were never like the type that would have. Our team didn't like fight about things like that, so it wasn't like it was any animosity, and
Okay.
probably had all just had that like agreement at that point.
Sure. I got you. So there is actually another kind of like famous scene that you aren't like active there, but like you're there for sure. You're one of the first people on the scene. Is Greg, Blaine, and DK sit down in the middle of the street. They're just complimenting everybody, and then it very quickly blows up to a very big confrontation. You're right next to Michael when it happens, and at that point, we're sort of under the impression that it's green team versus everybody. I mean, what were your thoughts going on when that was going down?
Definitely remember that happening in real life, and I remember getting really upset, and like I remember just kind of like trying to be the person that was literally like pulling him away, like it's okay, like I was just trying to kind of like de-escalate the situation. I think that like a really hostile time, and I think that like at that point there was like no good in like just straight up fighting right there in the middle of the street. So I was trying to just go to just kind of leave it. So I remember kind of like pulling him away, so you can probably see me there
Right.
trying to do that.
I do remember that. Yeah. Were you
And
like...
I'm just kind of like a peacekeeper.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I probably would be too if I was 12 in this situation, but like, were you scared at all? Because I mean, like, literally, there's probably like 3 feet between you and the 3 biggest guys in the whole town, and eventually their whole like, more and more of their people start crowding around them, like.
Greg is a little intimidating, but I wasn't really scared of anybody. I'm weren't gonna hurt me. I knew they wouldn't do that. No, I wasn't really scared. I mean, I could see where it could be interpreted that like I was kind of like a small girl and like those were some really big dudes, but they didn't really intimidate me.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I personally don't think Greg would slug you in that moment either.
That's my thing. I'm like, I don't think that anybody would like cheap shot a like young girl. Like I just
right.
That's why I was pulling Michael away, because I was more worried about him. Like if it came to blows, like they would throwing the punches at him, not at me. So like I was kind of in the position where I could step in.
Right, exactly. Because I mean, I don't think I think Greg sort of had the same mindset where you can hit guys, just don't hit girls. Because I don't know if you heard about this, but Anjay actually told us that there's one time where him and Greg got into a fight, and Greg like threw him through a window. It was like on one of the last days. Yeah, apparently not a lot of people know about it.
I had fought a lot, but I didn't know that that it was like a physical altercation.
Yeah,
through a window.
Yeah, and then
I know that, but
yeah.
I mean, Greg definitely had the tendency to get angry. I mean, I got into some really verbal altercations with him one-on-one.
Really?
Yeah, like you didn't see it, because I don't think that they would have, because I wasn't a fighting type, so they didn't want to portray me like that. But I think that I definitely stood up to him a few times. I was not scared of him.
Yeah, good.
A lot of people were, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have words with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, he would throw a punch at least. So I think that's why I just wasn't scared, because I knew he wouldn't hurt me. But crazy. I mean, poor Anjay. Like,
yeah, he's all right about it now. He just thought it was like kind of wild at the time. But
there were definitely some wild things that happened, but we were kids, and like obviously we're like grown up now, so like I'm sure nobody holds any hostility toward each other.
Right. When you say a lot of wild stuff happened, do you have any other like accounts or memories of just crazy stuff going down?
I can think of one thing in particular, but I probably won't go there. Someone got pissed at someone and with a pencil. Someone
stabbed someone else with a pencil?
But everybody was fine. But yeah, that's
Okay.
probably the only thing I would say.
Okay, yeah. It's okay if you want to keep it discreet. Just that information is more lore added to the whole Kid Nation community. So yeah, that's pretty wild though. I've not heard that one before. And you also mentioned that you'd get into like verbal altercations with Greg. Like, what would you two like really argue about?
Really remember. I just remember it being. I remember there was definitely something that happened. That get into a fight, and it was a pretty serious fight. But I don't remember like what it even was about.
Yeah.
Not even anything important. But I definitely was just the type that I stood up to. I just thought he was kind of a bully, and I stand up to bullies. I'm just that type of person. I always have been. So.
Gotcha.
But I mean, yeah, like we were kids. Like it. I mean, it's no reflection on him as a person. But I always did what I thought was right in my gut. So.
Definitely.
Kind
That's
of
good.
just what happened.
Yeah. So were you satisfied with the amount of screen time that you got on the show? And is there like necessarily a reason why you thought maybe you didn't get like a lot of screen time to compared to other characters?
I think I was just pretty like dramatic.
Yeah.
Pretty peaceful, pretty quiet. I just kind of kept my head down, did the work I needed to do. And I think that I mean, when it comes down to it, that doesn't always make great reality TV.
Right.
But that's not, I just wasn't on there to cause a ruckus or to make anything like dramatic, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just enjoyed the ride. I had a good experience. I wasn't to be a TV star.
Yeah.
I don't really care that much about like my screen time. I mean, I think I got enough given circumstances. Some kids like weren't shown at all.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm okay with that. I thought that everybody, that was on there should have been shown a decent amount, but they did just kind of focus on an intro group. But I mean, they're TV network. That's what they're supposed to do. Like I mean, that's just the reality of reality TV. And when it comes down to it, that I wasn't going to be shown a lot. My mom actually got a call from a producer before the show came out, and they said, "Listen, like, I'm going to tell you, like, your daughter's not going to be on TV a lot, but you should be proud because she wasn't on TV because she didn't really drama or
Yeah.
she was just a pretty good kid overall, and you should be proud of her for that." So, at the end of the day, like, I was that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Overall, I thought you did get like a pretty good amount of screen time, and definitely pulling your chops at the talent show was a pretty good move. If you played the violin, you probably would like it would have just been like a quick, 3-second scene, and then they would just
yeah, it was
up.
violin was more like I was talented, but like it wasn't really just. I knew at the time that I wanted to do something more entertaining for people, especially for Savannah. So I was like, I don't think that orchestral instruments are going to be the way to do that. So I had to change my mind there.
Right. Another question is when you guys when the entire show is wrapped up, like what was that like? So like you guys are done. Does like a bus come to pick you up, or like what really happened in like the going home process?
Well, what you see was pretty genuine. So what we did was our parents came into the town to sit and see where we'd been living and what we'd been doing, and then we ate there that we made. So I think we made like spaghetti.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom was just like she couldn't believe the way I looked. Like she was terrible. Well, we chickens a couple of days before, if you recall.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
made soup.
Sure.
So we killed chickens 2 different times. And I had chicken blood on myself. So
Ooh.
that was my mom was kind of freaking out because I was
Yeah.
bloody. We did that, and then we went to the barn where you see the last like 3 gold stars given out, and so that was all pretty. And then I mean we were an offset, and we went back to the hotel, and so that was pretty all what was shown, I guess.
Uh-huh. Gotcha. So when your parents came, you pretty much left with your parents too. That like when the whole show was done with. Okay. Very nice. So we're getting closer towards the end of the video here. I know you saw my tier list video, so you mentioned your rating and everything. What was your reaction to getting the C rating?
Oh, I've been a C student in law school, so that was, okay, I guess, right up my alley. But I will say that I was a little disappointed. Although I feel like a C is pretty neutral. So, on the one hand, I'm like, I was a pretty neutral character, so that makes sense. But, I was like, I think I'm a B, at least a B. At least. Okay. So hopefully after we've had this conversation, I'm bumped up. But yeah, I had a little beef with you about it. I was like, I'm gonna call him out on this.
No, yeah, exactly.
But no, it's all good fun. I get it. I mean, you don't know me. You don't. It's like, once you get to know me, hopefully you think I'm better.
Yeah, no. All right, everybody. I mean, Kennedy comes on here after I rated her C. I mean, that just her coming on gets her B. She comes on here, gives us 2 Jared stories, and tells us someone got freaking stabbed with a pencil. I mean, come on, Kennedy. We're gonna make a quick video redaction. You're S tier now. Thank you for appearing here with everybody. Yeah, I mean, we appreciate it.
I'm truly honored. I'm really that is big. That's all I needed. Wow.
I mean, a rating from me is like from CBS themselves or Jonathan Karsh himself giving the rating.
That's all. I mean, really, like, I can die happy now. Like, that's all I needed. So.
Yeah, I mean, still, I can't thank you enough for coming. Last question is, what are you up to now? Are you still playing tennis? What's life like with Kennedy?
Right now, so I just graduated law school. I don't play tennis anymore. I just graduated law school, University of Cincinnati. So I am currently studying for the bar exam, which I'm taking in July in a month. So that's fun. I'm taking the Florida bar exam, and I have a job lined up down there as a public defender in Fort Myers. So that'll be cool. I'm really excited. I'm really passionate about my work, and thankful for the experiences that Kid Nation gave me, and now being able to do this work and just try to help as many people and take on the system, I guess.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, for one, congrats on graduating again and everything, and hope everything works out in Florida. You think you'll miss Kentucky?
Yeah, I mean, my whole family's here, and Kentucky's home. But I've been to a lot of different places in the last few years with like internships, and I'm a very mobile person, so I think, and I mean, Florida's pretty awesome, and I'll be by the beach, so I think I'll enjoy that. But I'll definitely miss family.
You'll manage it. You'll manage it.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously it'll be change, and I'm excited for the adventure. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Kennedy, I can't thank you enough for coming on here. I mean, props to the green team, because now we're at 2 green team interviews, 0 for yellow so far. But
gotta step up.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks a lot for coming on, and I hope you keep succeeding with your career and everything else that you do. Love to hear it. Love to hear your growth, and bummer about tennis though, but great to hear everything else. And I'm glad you're still funny. Yeah, I'm glad you're still funny and telling jokes and everything.
Hi.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot for being on here, Kennedy. Definitely. Yep.
No problem. Thank you.
Yep, it was a blast. Thank you once again, and stay tuned. Peace.